Phaedra said she over there making radioactive burgers.
Radioactive. Phaedra said, well, what's the profit margins on radioactive burgers?
So my thing is, if all of this is true, why isn't Kelli backing up Shamea?
And girl, was this little Juice script audition situation any indication of how you operate your businesses?
What's up, friends? Welcome to another episode of Talk That Talk, Reality with Realness. Friend. Child,
Yes.
What that song say, baby? It's about to be a what? A girl fight.
Girl
bitch.
fight. The girls are fighting.
It's a lot going on, child. Let's get right into it and waste no time. Let's get into the clip of the week.
She's like, okay, well, fine.
Either way, my mama
Can
don't
I
be
finish?
dancing in no hookah
Can I
lounge in the
finish?
middle of
Can I
Atlanta
finish?
with a
No.
white suit talking
The
about
fact-
hallelujah
I would love
and
to
calling
just
her
finish what I'm talking
Jezebel
about.
in the middle of the
Calling who a
club.
Jezebel? Calling who a Jezebel?
I
You
really
making
do
a-
have saying
Calling who a Jezebel?
Your mama calling me a Jezebel? No, she did
I'm
not.
really
Let me
not
finish.
lying.
Let me finish.
And you know that I'm not
Your
lying.
mama's a Jezebel. My mama did not. So you
Y'all
believe
keep
that?
talking
You instantly
about
believe that.
say things
me
like
when
you
you're
don't-
with
don't
her.
make- don't-
My mama
Because
never
she's
called you a Jezebel.
Yes, she did. She said,
You
like her mama,
immediately believe
you're
that.
not going to make me look crazy when I've had your
No,
back.
Friend, that damn K.
Man.
Michelle and Shamea. Then we called that it was going to end up being here. Now, I will say, when they had introduced the seating chart, we was like, well, damn, why is Kelli in between Shamea and K. Michelle? So I guess now we got the backstory that this little back and forth they had just happened recently. So I guess that explains why Shamea must didn't get second chair if she did get in first chair. Friend, what's going on, chat?
Friend, who knew that K. Michelle and Shamea was finna turn the thing up like this?
Baby.
But yes, my initial thoughts as I'm watching Shamea and Kay, and I'm like, Shamea just gives me this vibe that like she's not prepared for this in a weird way. And it's like she's tongue-tied, she tripping over her words. She's really not that good at defending herself either. And I'm like, you knew this conversation was gonna happen. And it just feels like you're not prepared. Like she did a horrible job of defending herself.
Child, is she not prepared, or what everybody's saying is true that she just been lying and can't keep
That
up with all
part.
them lies she been telling?
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
That
Child,
part.
now friend, I will say Porsha stepped in and Porsha had to go ahead and get her lick in. Now she been ignoring the girl all season. Now that K. Michelle then woke up and waking it up with her, now Porsha stepping in. And Porsha said, look, what you did was be manipulative. You planned on that girl's vulnerability and an effort to make her be in an alliance with you. And for me, Porsha landed that one because that's exactly what it's giving, girl. You were playing on K. Michelle's feelings about people not liking her, and you know they don't like her, and you tried to use that against her. Now, I give K. Michelle her kudos that she figured that out, which is why I think she in the position that she in now. But yeah, baby, Porsha called it right out in what it was.
No, 100%. Porsha was definitely on the money with that one. Shamea was definitely trying to use that as an angle to kind of create an alliance, like they were saying, with K. Michelle. But that totally fell flat on his face. Like, K definitely threw her under the bus. And although they were trying to form like a friendship, you would think that maybe she wouldn't have shared that. But what I see is child K want to be on the other couch.
Can't you see?
They
it?
want to be on the other couch. So she like, I'm finna air it out. Whatever
Baby,
we
out.
talked about when we was friends, whatever was said in secret, like we finna talk about it today.
Okay. Now, what did you catch when Shamea was trying to explain, like, what she was talking to K. Michelle about her friends? She wasn't talking about the housewives group of friends. And she made a comment like her friends were trash or something like that. Did
I
you
heard her
catch
say
that?
that. I did.
So I was like, what is she talking about? I don't know if there was a mess up with the edit or what, but I was like, girl, you calling your friends trash over
She
K.
was.
Michelle or something?
I felt like what she was trying to do was kind of save face with Kay in that moment by saying like, yeah, my friends was trash for like whatever they said. I felt like she was trying to save face in that moment. And soon as the reunion over, she'll go hang out with said friends and say the opposite. So
You already know, child.
it's a mess.
Now, friend, the girls said they went and had dinner. Just K. Michelle, Kelli, and Shamea when all the riffraff really went down. And mind you, again, this happened recently leading up to the recording of the reunion. And that Cynthia Bailey.
Clock it.
Cynthia Bailey clocked it when she said we went there. She said, "Oh, to talk about the reunion."
Okay, she definitely snuck that one in there.
Okay, now, friend, my question is, so Shamea is explaining what went down at the dinner, right? She said K. Michelle got up, punching her fist like she was gonna whoop her down to the ground, child. So my thing is, if all of this is true, why isn't Kelli backing up Shamea and saying, yes, that's what happened. Yes, K. Michelle, you did punch her fist at her. You did get up at her. And but Shamea, I mean not Shamea, Kelli, she in the middle. She says she don't want to be in the middle, but she ain't defending. She not defending Shamea.
So you noticed that too, friend.
Yeah.
How quiet Kelli was. She literally said nothing until Shamea pulled her into it. Like Shamea was like, bitch, back me up.
Support me, bitch.
And Kelli was like, I don't even want to get in the middle of this. She really didn't like confirm what Shamea was saying, which was interesting because she's typically the one that's taken up for Shamea
right
in any other situation. So I'm like, it's giving you're either intimidated by Kay or Shamea's lying. So the question is, who's lying? But based on the interaction and Kelli being quiet about it, it felt like Kay's story was probably more on the side of the truth than Shamea's.
Okay. Kay said she told her, you gonna stop that lie. I said, not Kay talking to this girl like she a 5-year-old. You gonna stop the lie.
But it's also not hard for me to believe, too, that Kay could have turned up with her at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But my question would be like, why would you get that hype? Because, you know, we was talking offline about when Shamea did that interview, she was talking about somebody tried to fight her, and that's who she would like to get fired. Remember, I thought it was Porsha because, you know, it was in the streets that Porsha had tried to get on her head on the cash trip. So my question is like, what would make the conversation that heated between them two that K. Michelle will get in her face and want to fight her in that? Like, what would carry it to that point?
I feel like her, you know, the whole conversation about my friends don't want me to be friends with you, previous conversations that they had, I'm pretty sure Kay was just still holding on to that. Like, you ain't fully moved on from it. So the next time you get into a confrontation with Shamea, you trying to get her for the old and the new. Okay. So I feel like it was probably something like that.
Now, friend, when K. Michelle told her that, you know, her mama ain't in the hookah lounge calling Porsha no Jezebel.
Okay.
Baby, Shamea said that ain't what her mama said. She said she lying. Do you believe Shamea or do you think her mama called Porsha Jezebel?
I think her mama called Porsha Jezebel.
I believe she did too.
I believe she called Porsha Jezebel. Yeah, because the way K. Michelle told the story, it was like, I've been holding on to this and I'm letting it out. And Portia's face when she said it, she actually looked kind of hurt. I don't know if you caught that. Like, it was almost kind of like she was stunned a little bit. And then it was like, your mother's a Jezebel.
I am. And your mama is too.
I'm going to tell you who face told me up.
Angela.
Angela.
Oh, yeah. Angela's
reaction had sent me. I had rewinded about 5 times just to look at her face, child.
Yeah. Everybody was like, what? On that couch? Like, the only person who wasn't really like, whoa in the room was Andy, because he ain't in the community to understand how heavy that is of an insult.
Right. Yeah. So, child, now back to Kelli. This, to me, this really lets you know like what kind of game they're playing. To me, like, that with Shamea and Kelli, they not really playing the Housewives game as a trying to, you know, do the unit of friendship, fighting, moving forward, because after all of that riff-raff back and forth between Shamea and K. Michelle, Kelli, she done figured out a way to try to wrap it up and put it on the other couch. Like, I wish y'all would stop listening to the other couch, and baby, they
were
friend want her out so bad.
Seriously, I mean, they all jumped on her, and you know what? She deserved that one though, because like
Mm-hmm.
she said, was so left field, and it's like they're literally talking about an issue between the two of
Mm-hmm.
them and
Mm-hmm.
discussing other women outside of this friend group, and how you
Mm-hmm.
just blame it on the whole other couch. Like
Yeah.
even Andy checked her, like just talk to
Okay.
Mia and Kay, and I'm
Right.
like, thank you.
Yeah, again, it's just giving what kind of game they play. And then I also saw somebody mention, friend, they was like they kind of feel like when Britt and Kelly came onto the show that they believe they made like a truce with each other to go after the heavy hitters. So Britt would go after Kenya Moore and Kelly would go after Porsha. And I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, child, that's literally what it's giving, because like there's really no point for you to keep fighting with Porsha, in my opinion, with Kelly, especially when you've already faked like, child, you wanted to move forward in a different way. So I think just as much as Kelly needs Shamea, Shamea needs Kelly, and they basically using each other as pawns. And even when they do something wrong, they not gonna be quick to speak up, just like Kelly was mute during this whole argument between K. Michelle and Shamea. So, child, I again still over Kelly. I think she does good for the show. But yeah, she's just what's the woman version of the short man syndrome? Because that's what
Child.
she is. You know the short man syndrome where you just
Uh-huh.
loud and want to argue all the time.
Uh-huh.
That's because she just loud. I'm like, girl, just shit up.
With your raggedy, broke ass.
Kelly needs Porsha just as much as she needs Shamea, because
She sure
that is
do.
her storyline at this
She
point.
sure do.
So she
And
will
if Porsha
continue
figure it
the
out,
mess. And the fact
okay.
that she made up with her like that on that trip shows me that like she could actually be cool with Porsha. But what I think it is she need a storyline. And number two, Kelly is still in her head about being the standard, and she's that girl, and she's always been that girl.
It's the voices in her head. Oh.
So I think she's having a hard time in this realm of not being that girl, because Porsha is that girl.
Right. And Free, you see the people clocking that Porsha really was the first person to say she was the standard on the reunion, and now the other girl over there trying to capitalize on. Did you catch it?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, when
I did see that somebody said that online of Porsha saying she was the standard,
yeah, she
but I
was
didn't
like,
clock that she said it.
yeah, when they was talking about Drew, I believe, and they was like Drew was trying to look like Porsha, and Porsha was like, I'm happy to be 45 in the standard. I said, ooh, not Kelly went in and clocked the girl words, child, but it's on brand for Kelly. Now, friend, let's move on, child, to baby. Oh, Miss Pinky had a nice little rollout, baby, and Phaedra
Okay.
wasted no time getting activated.
Look, bankruptcy baddie has arrived.
Okay, now he
Welcome, welcome to the reunion, child.
Welcome, Baldy.
She was quiet the whole time. Like,
okay, finally.
I forgot she was in the room.
Friend. Now, she say bankruptcy is a tool, and if she had to do it again, she would do it again. Friend, what's your thought on the back and forth between them and the whole bankruptcy thing?
So, a couple things. Pinky was going way too far with the whole bankruptcy tool thing. Like, it's a tool to get you out of a sticky situation. Don't try to flip the narrative like it's a tool for success. At the end of the day, no one goes into business with the thought process of, I want to file for bankruptcy after I start my business. Like, that wasn't your intention, Pinky. So stop making it like that was the case. At the end of the day, something happened to lead you to that place. So what the women were trying to get you to understand is you're being so boisterous all the time about your money and things like that. But at the same time, you're always talking about how you're filing for bankruptcy. So it looks crazy. It looks confusing. No, bankruptcy don't necessarily mean that you're broke, but like, you got to pick a struggle.
Okay. Come on, pick a struggle.
And Phaedra and Pinky definitely have some sort of a like underlying like beef, right? Like,
Baby, it's an
and they kind of
underbelly.
play it out through the show, like little by little, but it was little. Like Pinky making comments about Phaedra here and there. And then we found out on the reunion stage that they actually have somewhat of a history of working with each other in the past. So it was like, what was that about? But I think Phaedra came in like, I'm finna get her back for like all the little slick shit she had been saying. Cause I was like, well, why is Phaedra going so hard? So that's the only thing I could come up with.
Okay. Yeah, friend. I agree 100% on that. I see both sides. I see where she's saying That is a tool. Yes, it's a tool, but come on now. A lot of people lost their investments in you. And I think what I didn't appreciate about her is every time, I feel like you said this early on in the season as well, like she's just throwing off the fault on her team, the team she had. It was about the people. So like, girl, well, you weren't privy to the things that was going on. You weren't crossing your T's and dotting your I's to see what was going
Yep.
on. So yeah, two things can be true at the same time. Yes, you can go through bankruptcy, but you can also be mindful of the people who believed in you and your vision that you let them down. So both things can be true. Now, friend, what's this about Phaedra had went to the higher ups?
Ciao.
Yeah, let's talk about it, friend.
Because I'm still confused. What happened?
So this what had happened. So Pinky was talking with Phaedra, right?
Yeah.
And she was talking about like having to protect herself with a particular type of device if it ever got to that place. So Phaedra took that and ran with it and told the higher ups that, that was said. So I can't speak to what it is because they talked in riddles.
In code, okay.
It's giving Britt Edie situation with Kenya vibes is what I got from it. And Phaedra went to the teacher to tell.
Okay. Phaedra said, look, it won't be no Kenya more over here, baby. I'll get you up out of here before you think I'm going to go anywhere having to respond to any kind of crazy shit with you.
But what did you think about that? Did you think that was like, was it given like snitch? Do you think that Pinky was like actually threatening to Phaedra for her to feel that way?
Well, I don't know if she was threatening in that manner, but I think we saw how all of that rolled out last season with again, this is alleged, if it was even the same kind of ordeal, which again, allegedly it does seem that way. I think she saw how that played out, and for what Phaedra was saying, like she was trying to tell her to be quiet, like, girl, shut up, don't say that. I think with stuff like that, honestly, you can never be too careful on it because you never know when somebody will snap, especially in that type of environment. Now, that ain't no easy environment to go in, especially if you can't keep up with the girls. They can whoop your ass with their words and you can't come up with your comebacks quick. You'll never know who a snap child if they do got a little pum sitting in the backseat up under the glove department somewhere. So personally, I just think stuff like that you can't be too cautious with. But child, whatever the situation was, Andy clearly is team Faith because he said, look,
that was wild.
if she wanted to get something started and get you in trouble about something, baby, trust me, I would have been heard about it by now.
But you know what was confusing? When Pinky first said it and said she went to the higher ups on me, and Phaedra was like, I did, and tell them why.
And tell them why.
But then when Andy jumped in, he was like, basically like saying like she ain't do that because if she would have, she would have called me. So it's like, so did she do it or did she not do it? So I kind of felt left in the middle, or I kind of felt like, Andy, you should have just stayed out of it. And let them tell the story how it happened.
Okay, because what he did was he saw production. He said, baby, they didn't go far. They ain't lead truly. I know they may be the big boys to y'all, but they ain't the real big boys. So calm down. But yeah, whatever that situation was, I see why they wouldn't want that to be on screen, but that would have explained more to their friction, because to me it did give that Pinky she just didn't like Phaedra for whatever reason. Like her jabs at Phaedra were definitely kind of like, damn girl, you really don't like that woman. You said the woman eat dead people and stuff. So yeah, child.
And I wonder what the timeline of it all happening was. Like, was Phaedra talking about her and her Jamaican restaurant serving meat before all of this happened? Or did this happen afterwards? Like, what's the timeline on their little low-key beef?
Phaedra said she over there making radioactive burgers.
Phaedra said, well, what's the profit margins on radioactive burgers? I hollered.
Baby, I said not that it finally got Phaedra activated. So honestly, I hope, child, they go ahead and really just go dial into each other. Excuse me, because I want to see Phaedra back activated, like old school Phaedra.
She needs to be. That was I appreciated that because Pinky ain't no punk now. She gonna go back and forth with you because she definitely held her own.
Okay, she did.
Right or wrong, she gonna battle back and forth.
Yeah, she definitely
10 toes
combative.
down on what she believed, regardless of who on the couch was trying to help her see differently. Cynthia couldn't get through to her. Angela couldn't get through to her. And Angela said, I don't want to do this with you. Because Kelli made that comment of don't,
She
upset the
pregnant.
baby. So do you feel like that's a valid point that like maybe not too much on Pinky because she's carrying? Or do you feel like Phaedra was just kind of went too far?
Yeah, well, I don't think Phaedra went too far. I don't think Phaedra went far, but I do understand that she is pregnant, so adding the extra stress on her probably won't be the best thing. So I can respect Angela backing off and being like, girl, I'm gonna let you make it because you got a bundle of joy. So I can respect that, but I don't think Phaedra went. Honestly, Phaedra didn't go hard enough, in my opinion. Not how we know old school Phaedra, how Phaedra can with her rehearsed reads and all. Phaedra didn't come prepared, in my opinion. That
she came
radio
prepared because
afterburger was good.
she
But
did some
she could have did
research.
more.
She did some research. She came prepared because I felt like you went low when you start talking about people's kids, and she
I was
started
just gonna
talking
say
about
it.
the bankruptcy and all it. So that's where I was like, how far is Phaedra gonna go with this woman? Like,
But friend, to that point though, but I think that's still the problem with Pinky because again, you being braggadocious, two things to be true. My man got money. My man got money. He was gonna get you the $5 million. So I think that's a valid question. Where if that is the case, then why are you writing off the kids' doctor bills on the bankruptcy when that ain't got nothing to do with your business? So Phaedra calling out like, girl, you trying to give out all this business advice and your business record ain't squeaky clean. So,
child, and this coming from somebody that let me stop.
Girl, let me close the curtains. I'm just gonna get on out of here. I'll see you when I see you.
I ain't gonna even go there. Well, we already know her history. There's nothing left to be said.
Yeah, but baby, Phaedra definitely came. But again, I feel like Phaedra could have came a lot harder. She didn't really have no good reads to me. Like I was really waiting on Phaedra to land the plane, and I still feel like she didn't really land the plane. And that could just be because Pinky ain't no weak link. Like Pinky gonna go back and forth with you, so you gonna have to bring it when you come to that Pinky now.
Yeah, she would have had a better chance of landing some good ones with Kelli than Pinky.
Okay, now friend, what about Pinky and Drew? Got to the whole bottom of this biopic, child, that we still ain't seen yet.
Child, Drew ate Pinky up.
Okay,
because Pinky tried to make it a thing. Like she called my auditions a cattle call, and everybody like, well, ain't that what it is? Isn't that an acting term? Like, and Andy confirmed it, and then Porsha like, oh, so your team just didn't have time to send her, what needed to be sent. And at the end of the day, Pinky, like, you lost that one. And
She
Drew
dropped the
still
ball.
showed up even though she didn't come to audition.
Again, they let you know like they were playing the game of us versus them. Because again, when Drew was like, girl, I'm with the union. I just can't show up and just do what I want to do.
Just audition, yeah.
Yeah, so like she dropped the ball. And she literally said that, it just slipped her mind that she didn't get her the proper information in a timely manner. So girl, like, own your stuff. And that's, I'm noticing that about Pinky.
She don't
Pinky
own her shit.
apologize. She don't own nothing. She gonna fight you tooth and nail whether she right or wrong, child.
And girl, was this little Drew script audition situation any indication of how you operate your businesses?
Ooh. Bye.
Right. Because how you can't remember to send the script to the person that you're filming a show with, that you want to come to the audition.
Bitch, that's a word.
This is your job, and you literally couldn't send a script.
That's a word, bitch.
Or your team couldn't send the script. Sorry, but the fish stink from the head.
Come on, Iyanla.
And what I know is the fish stinks from the head down.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah, that's Iyanla right there, baby. The fish stink from the head.
Look, that's grandma right there.
Okay, baby. Friend, let's get on, child, to that darn Shamea and Angela. Baby, all I can come up with in their segment was word salad, bitch. It was so much going on. Angela couldn't land the plane with what she was trying to say. Shamea can't talk without lying, and every time she told a lie, production showed the receipt.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot happening.
Ooh, a lot going on.
But I don't know about you, but I felt like Andy was trying to get Angela to see that, like, you were kind of making a thing out of something that wasn't a thing. Like, this was kind of confirmed, like, nothing happened. Like, do you gather that? And Angela ain't really want to give it to Shamea either in that regard. Like, I probably fucked up on this one.
Which I feel like that would be the easiest thing to do. Easiest thing for Angela to do in that moment is to say, I shouldn't have repeated what he said because clearly he was joking and that just wasn't nothing to repeat and be done. But Angela trying to prove the point that Shamea is a liar, that she's an habitual liar. And I feel like that's why she won't let it go. And she also brought up that that's why she took it into Dallas, that if anybody is feeding any information into K. Michelle, she know that it's Shamea based on her experience with Shamea. And, you know, she went on to explain, like, Shamea was the first person she got to know. They were cool. They were hanging out, traveling and shit together. And then, child, she learned who Shamea really was. So I think that's why it's hard for her to let those things go with Shamea, because she really want to prove that Shamea is a liar. But, girl, don't make yourself look crazy trying to prove
process
that Shamea is a liar, because that's gonna come up anyway that the girl been lying, if she been lying.
Yeah. And then the one little thing that Shamea ate was like when they showed that flashback of Angela and Shamea talking with some of the other girls. And Shamea said that Angela and Drew was kind of messy for something that they did. And Shamea's like, well, damn, like that right there was enough to set you off to the point that you've been like coming from my marriage all season. So I was like, that was a valid point. But then Angela also recalled the whole Charles situation from last season, since Shamea brought it up. And they did show that flashback where her and Shamea had to sit down. And I'm glad they showed that, because it brought context to the situation. And I was like, Shamea's part in the situation was laughing at what Porsha said and what Kelli was saying about Charles and saying he had a woman and stuff too. But when she sat with Angela in the clip they showed, she literally was saying, well, I think that laughing is healthy. And I'm like, excuse me, Shamea? Excuse me? So this is that behavior right here that people are talking about. Like, you couldn't just flat out say, I was wrong for laughing, I was wrong for what I added to the conversation, and let it be that.
And baby, then here come Pusha P tapping right back in. Since you called me in, yes, I said what I said. It was disgusting. We moving on. Porsha said, but y'all ain't telling the truth about what y'all was really out there saying. So, friend, do you believe what Porsha was saying was true about what Kelli and Shamea was saying about Charles at the pool last season?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially that Kelli. I mean, we seen how she went up when Britt started talking about him, and she started screaming about that. What about that baby, though?
Baby. Okay.
That baby.
Child.
Kelli did snatch Angela edge real quick with that. I ain't have to get pregnant to land a husband, because Angela was like, Angela was stuck. I said, uh-oh.
And child,
now she got you.
And no shade, Kelli shouldn't have to do much to land that one she had.
It shouldn't have took nothing at all.
Hey, B. When did he say, with them floaters on your chest? Baby, now speaking of Kelli, friend, that darn Porsha and Kelli, they just ain't gonna be, but they definitely got a little hard on for each other. And Porsha made it clear, like, girl, the little chili salad that you wanted as well, too. She told Porsha, put that thing in some vinegar.
In hot water. Them girls is crazy.
Baby, look, Kelli is so annoying, but Kelli won't shut up. Is she not just gonna let you punk her?
That's why she's good for the show.
I gotta give the girl that. She loud and she gonna say what she wanna say, especially when it comes to going against them other girls, child.
Kelli's superpower is that she's shameless. Like, you could say what you want about her. You can spray her. She gonna still come back with something. She not gonna back down. And she don't give a damn. Like, so that's what makes her work.
Child. Now, friend, what you think about Porsha taking this lie detector test to prove her point about Kelli was with a married man?
I mean, it was a little gaggy when she was announcing it to Drew, but the minute they, talked about it on stage, and then Andy turned it over to Phaedra.
Well, I got it from, I'm going to turn it over to Phaedra. I mean.
And Phaedra said, yeah, child, them just for play. basically. Like, it ain't gonna even stand in court. So then it was kind of like, womp womp.
Yeah, I feel like Porsha would have ate if she would have invited the guy there to actually do both of them and called Kelli out to do the test with her in that moment. But I will say, once Kelli started naming people, I said, Porsha ain't lying.
Boom.
Yeah.
Porsha ain't lying. And Porsha kept saying, oh, girl, keep going because you getting close now. Now keep talking. I said, yeah, she know exactly what she talking about.
So what Kelli was doing was, I don't want to talk about the married guy, so I'm going to say somebody else's name that has kind of already been in orbit anyways, based on the fact that she said Claudia mentioned it before on the podcast, that her and Porsha had both dated that guy. So yes, the lie detector test might not hold up, but it was giving.
Okay.
Porsha might have been telling the truth on this one. Now, what did you think about Porsha when Shamea started chiming in and Porsha said, you hush when I'm talking to Kelli before we talk about who you was with BET Weekend?
Okay. Baby, Shamea knew to keep it moving.
I just laughed because I'm like, first of all, Porsha probably just lying, number one. Number two, I don't know if she's lying or not based on Shamea's response, because Shamea's like, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking to her. I was talking about George. And I'm like, girl, ain't nobody even on that no more.
Right. Shamea knew to keep it moving because she already
she very much
Porsha
kept it moving. And I was like, okay, you ain't defend your name just now. Did you not hear what Porsha said?
Okay. Baby, she wanted to move that little Porsha right on. Which is why I say we was talking offline earlier, and I was telling you, like, first let me say, like, I feel like everyone should return because I feel like this really is a solid cast. Regardless of who we like, who we don't like, I think this is a solid cast. However, as we progress forward, I really don't think Shamea should come back. If Shamea comes back next season, she better know that this is something she really want to do, and it's very important for her to do it. Because from what I see, K. Michelle clearly finna be she finna make it to Fab 6. That's what's finna happen. And what I feel, if Porsha and K. Michelle link up, they gonna make Shamea's life a living hell. Shamea better really want to be on the Housewives if she decides to come back next season. And she better make sure her home is very stable.
Well, we going to discuss Shamea and her future on the show later on this week and roll the receipts.
On Roll the Receipts.
And we're going to talk about it.
Well, friend, let's get on the hell up out of here. Before we do, you know I got to ask the question that we sent the people up last week. Friend, who you think won this reunion, part 2?
Ooh. I'm going to have to give it to Porsha again.
Okay.
Why I'm going to give it to Porsha again. I'm giving it to Porsha because she is the one that she made me laugh out loud. Like, if you, especially when you're not trying to be funny and you just coming at somebody's neck and it's funny, I'm always a go up for that. If I had to give somebody a close second, it probably would have been Pinky, just for standing 10 toes down and showing up.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it to, and it really ain't even about nothing that really happened. I'm going to give it to Cynthia because I appreciated Cynthia bringing some fun, child, with that music. The girls had turned up. It was so interesting to see how K. Michelle was kind of making that moment about her, in my opinion, like, oh, you got to tour with me, and trying to scream across the crowd to get that attention.
Yeah.
K. Michelle want to be on that other couch so bad. So I'm going to give it to Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey coming in and really bringing some much needed relief and fun, child, into their reunion. Because baby, them girls was scratching faces and everything over there, child. So I'm going to give it to Cynthia.
Okay. Cynthia came in with her cape, dressed like a villain. But you heard Drew said, you look comfortable. I gagged. I'm like, bitch, you got to go back and see it. Drew said, and you look comfortable too. I said, bitch, that was low-key shade.
Okay, shade. Okay. Well, y'all already know we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Man, we are almost to the final episode of the season. This has been a great season, especially coming off last season, child. So if y'all have not, go ahead and like this video, share, subscribe, hype it, and y'all already know, meet us right back here Thursday for Roll the Receipts. We'll holler.
Peace.